once, somewhere, I think it was in a talk you were giving, you talked about the four quadrants.
Yeah.
I think these, based on what you said, because you alluded to it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And at least I found it very helpful.
Yeah.
Kind of the four quadrants of a new technology.
Sure.
If you have paper, by the way, like a cross with four quadrants, I'm just warning you, you're going to start writing in a second, so I'll just give you a heads up. But this is I found this very, very helpful.
So the thing that McLuhan in his final years observed is that every medium has four basic effects. And so it's not just like a gain and a loss, which is kind of typically what's understood, and I alluded to that in The Two-Eyed Prophet. There are actually four effects, and he basically said, he wrote a book called The Laws of Media, and he challenged the scholarly community to find an example in which one of the laws doesn't apply, or a fifth law also applies. His conviction was that there were only four and always four. There was no case in which there wasn't four. And the way he framed it was not as a law, but as a question, because he believed there wasn't a final answer, there was only an endless probing that could take place. So he basically says, the first question is, what does any medium extend? So the first law is extend. And usually he imagined it in this quadrant, the upper, whatever hand quadrant that is, I don't know which way we're facing. But every medium extends or amplifies some human function. Eyeglasses extend the eye, the wheel extends the foot in circular motion, on and on. Every medium also, let's see, it's extend, obsolesce. Every medium obsolesces in this quadrant down here. It actually changes the function of some previous medium. Now, obsolesce does not mean get rid of. It means change the function of. So this is the reason why when people say, oh, the publishing industry, it's dead, books are going away. No, they're not. They're changing their function. They'll never go away. The same way that the horse-drawn carriage didn't go away when the automobile was invented, it just changed its function. It's no longer for transportation, it's now for romance in Central Park. But it's still used, and it's still useful. So that's obsolesce. Every medium will obsolesce another medium. Every medium retrieves another medium from the past. The internet retrieves the telegraph. The telegraph is the Victorian internet. If you want to understand the ultimate end of the internet, understand what the telegraph did to a civilization. So that's why retrieval matters, so that every medium retrieves. And then the last reason retrieval matters, meaning understanding some historic thing, is because it gives you a hint or a clue as to the final law, the answer to the final law, which is, in this quadrant, every medium reverses on itself when overextended. The car that was originally designed to speed up our transportation, what happens when too many of them are on the roads? They reverse. Traffic jams. What happens when you go too fast? Often, you have an accident. It reverses. So that's the point, is that every medium, and so they all exist in this kind of ongoing balancing between these four forces, and they're always happening, and they're immensely complex. So, I mean, that's kind of the...
Security camera.
Yeah, so, like an example, and I do this in... These are, by the way, in my first book, The Four Laws, so if it really interests you, The Hidden Power of Electronic Culture has them. I'm not trying to pimp the book, I see a lot of notes and may not be necessary. But anyway, the point is I use this example in there. The security cameras. So this is something they now number among the grains of sand on the sea, right? Security cameras everywhere, surveillance cameras everywhere. So what does it extend? Yeah, your eyes. I mean, essentially it's an extension of the eye. What does it obsolesce or get rid of or change the function of? Not get rid of. What does it change the function of? I didn't hear any of that. Security guards. Yeah, great. Neighborhood watch. Eyewitness testimony. If you have a video versus someone testifying, video wins, right? So it changes the function. What does it retrieve from the past? Okay, good. We got a couple watchmen, etc. History, good. Yeah, there's no single answer, by the way. You can just keep probing. Here's what I came up with. It retrieves the medieval city wall. Here's what the medieval city wall was built for. Medieval cities were often clustered on hills, and barbarians would invade and sack cities. So they built these walls around these cities, and it prevented barbarians from invading, thereby making the population inside more secure. And then something strange started happening. Cities started catching fire, and it trapped the citizens inside. The walls would trap the citizens. So what once made them safe later made them more vulnerable. So what do you think the security camera reverses into? Invasion of privacy. What once gave us a feeling of security introduces a new feeling of vulnerability and invasion. There it is.